Welcome to STEAM Storytime Apples. I am Miss Christina and I am going to lead you through this little story time for you. So our book today is called Apples A to Z, and this is by Margaret McNamara and illustrated by Jake Parker. Okay, so A is for apples. Fox loves apples. Apples are one of the most popular fruits in the world. Every year, about 68 million tons of apples are harvested. B is for blossoms. By late spring, apple trees are covered in blossoms or flowers. When the blossoms fall off the tree's branches, the fruits begin to form. C is for cider. Bear makes cider by pressing apples, skins, seeds, and all into a cloudy, pulpy juice. Cider can be served hot or cold. D is for deciduous. Oh, that's an SAT word for you. Deciduous. Apple trees lose their leaves in the fall. This makes them deciduous trees. And then what do you do with all the leaves after they've fallen? You rake them up and jump in them. E is for eating. Fox and his friends eat raw apples, cooked apples, and dried apples. Delicious. F is for fruit. An apple is a kind of fruit. Some other fruits are oranges, bananas, and grapes. Fruits contain seeds and come from flowering plants. G is for grafting. All right, get up close so you can see it. Fox attaches a branch of one kind of apple tree to a branch of another. This is called grafting. It can produce stronger, healthier trees and tastier apples. See, so he puts a branch from one tree into another tree. See, he's got a little V there, and he puts it in, and then he tapes it around so that they bond. H is for harvest. Fall is harvest time, when ripe apples are picked from the trees. Apple picking is more fun with friends. Have you been apple picking before? It's fun, isn't it? I is for ice. Apple trees are very hardy, but winter ice storms can break branches and keep fruit from growing in the spring. J is for juice. Apple juice, like cider, is pressed from apples, but apple juice is filtered to become clear. So it goes through a little bit more processing before we drink it, as opposed to cider. K is for kitchen. A kitchen is the best place to make applesauce. Fox and Bear cut up some apples, spoon them into a pot, and add a little water and sugar, and then simmer it on the stove until done. L is for leaves. Apple leaves are oval-shaped with small points. Boop. The edges of the leaves are toothed. Kind of like it has little teeth. That's what they mean by toothed. M is for markets. Farmers markets and grocery stores are filled with many varieties of apples. Fox looks for Granny Smith, one of his favorite kinds of apples. N is for nutritious. Apples are very healthy, natural food. They have no fat and they contain fiber, which helps your stomach digest other foods. O is for orchard. An orchard is an apple farm. Apples are grown in every state in the United States and in every province in Canada. P is for pollen. Pollen from apple blossoms make it possible for an apple fruit to form inside the flower. Bees help move pollen from one apple blossom to another. Q is for quarters. Fox cuts his apple into quarters. That's 4 pieces of the same size. How many quarters make a half? What do you think? So if we go in half like that, how many's over here? 1, 2. 2 are in a half. R is for ripe. A ripe red apple is irresistible. The coddling moth caterpillar likes eating them as much as Fox does. S is for seeds. Fox cuts an apple in half, and the center is a star shape with 5 points, and each point of the star contains a seed. Boop, 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 boop. T is for trees. All apples grow on trees. Some apple trees can grow to be 100 years old. Can you imagine 100? U is for underground. The roots of an apple tree spread underground. Roots soak up water and nutrients and keep the tree from falling down. V is for varieties. There are hundreds of varieties of apples. Each variety looks and tastes different. Try them all. Look, and this is just a sampling. Let's see. I really like Fuji apples, and I also like Honeycrisp. I don't really like sour, so Granny Smith isn't really my favorite, but it's good for baking, isn't it? Because it really gives you that nice apple flavor. W is for wax. Fox rubbed an apple on his shirt, polishing the natural wax on the apple skin. The wax helps the apple from drying, the wax helps keep the apple from drying out. There we go. Looks so shiny, you can see his reflection in it. X is for an X in the apple pie. It's as easy as pie to make an apple pie, and rolling out the dough is a lot of fun. Cut an X at the top of the pie dough to let steam escape while the pie bakes. Y is for yield. One tree can produce hundreds of apples. The apples collected from a tree are called its yield. Z is for zero. Fox ate the last apple. Now there are 0 apples left. The end. All right. So for your activities, let me get out the bag here. All right. So activity 1 is an apple sort. So you will take this page, cut up all the apples, and you're going to take a look at all of them, see what's similar and what is different. So like the first thing, what's one of the first things you see? Maybe the color? What colors do you see on here? Yeah, we got some green ones and yellow and some red. So you could sort red apples, green apples, yellow apples. And then there's other characteristics too. So take a look and sort them in any way that you want. The second activity is called an apple test. Now you're going to need several apples for this one. And you will, once you've got your apples assembled, different varieties, because remember there are a lot of varieties of apples, you will grab this sheet, and if you can write the name of the apple, go ahead, or maybe you can get your grown-up to do it. You will first draw the apple, maybe color it in, kind of what it looks like, and you're gonna take a taste. And you're going to chew it up in your mouth, really get it all over your tongue so your taste buds are really tasting it, and then you swallow it if possible. And then you decide, do I like it or not like it? And then you color or circle the one that's right. And then I want you to think about, how does it taste? Is it a sweet apple or a sour apple? Was it crunchy or was it mushy? Did you think it was a delicious apple or a bland apple? Or was it a juicy apple? Or any other words you can think of that might describe it, all right? So that's activity 2. apple taste. For 3, we're going to transform apples. So you can take your apples that you used in the taste test and use the ones that you didn't take a bite out of and make some applesauce. So you're going to turn like a whole apple into something else. You're transforming it. Now you can do it in a crock pot or a pot on the stove. It's got the instructions here and the list of what you need. So you can turn an apple into something else. And then the last activity, activity 4, is the apple life cycle hat. So you've got these pictures here, which you're going to color and then cut out. And then in your kit, you've also got some green strips of construction paper, and you're going to glue or staple or tape, whichever you have. You're going to glue each of these onto your strip, and then you're going to fit this to your head. And if you need to staple these together or tape them together, if you have a bigger head, so that it'll fit. Some of you might have, actually I don't think anyone's going to have that small of a head unless they're a baby, but anyway. So you can wear your hat and show off the apple life cycle. And we'll just kind of go over right now. So first, we start with the seed, right? And then you plant the seed and you give it some water and the sun. And what starts poking up out of the ground? Yeah, the little seedling. And then the seedling, now this part will take a couple years at least, a few years. It'll keep growing, it'll keep getting its nutrients from the soil and the sun, and you keep watering it, and it's gonna grow nice and big into a tree. And eventually, in the spring, you'll get these pretty little pink blossoms. And when the blossom falls off and pollination has happened, you will then get an apple. All right? So those are the activities. I hope that you have a really fun time doing this. And as always, I love seeing what you're doing, so you can email it to me at kgarner@wallingfordlibrary.org, or you can stop by the library and show me or tell me. All right, bye friends.